Now, this is a film that starred Ed Harris, Michael Biehn, who returned from...
both Terminator and Aliens.
That's right. Mary Elizabeth Mastriantonio. It's probably best known less for its plot and more for its Academy Award-winning Best Visual Effects at the time, because that was sort of the gateway into a lot of the effects, which are now commonplace, and that was what was considered to be the water effect at the time.
And those effects are still absolutely jaw-dropping. Absolutely. But the probe unit, which is basically a water channel flowing through the underwater compound and morphing in shape into faces. It's a beautiful effect, and it led to the design of the T-1000 in Terminator 2.
I remember seeing it in the cinema and being awestruck by it. It was one of those moments when you go, wow, how did they do that? I mean, this was clearly the beginning of CGI visual effects. It was pre-Jurassic Park. It just had lots and lots of elements in it that paved the way. But as I said, it wasn't particularly well received when it came out and was considered a disaster, even though it did make money. And it opened around the same time as Batman, and Batman really overshadowed this film.
It had a hugely troubled production. It was nicknamed The Abuse on set, and apparently set hands had T-shirts and hats with the Abyss logo where they changed it to the Abuse because of how it was made. Cameron's fascination with underwater existence, which he's continued ever since, pushed for authenticity where he could, which meant they built huge underwater sets. The whole design of the underwater rig, it was actually built in an underwater set so that they could get continuous shots from one end to the other and external shots, etc. The cast were made to wear proper diving gear, which had been designed for the shooting in order to pick up the volume properly and also light them correctly. And everything was done for authenticity, including, people like Ed Harris having to hold his breath whilst he's got a flooded helmet to emulate this breathable liquid, which he couldn't really breathe because it doesn't work on humans that well. But he would shoot 60 to 90 seconds at a time of him basically holding his breath while pretending that he's not trying to hold his breath. Absolutely staggering production. The detail on all the model effects and everything, because Cameron is he's a lover of special effects, and it's where he grew his craft from. There's some effects shots in there that you don't realise are effects shots until a little pop-up thing on the DVD tells you, and this was a model, and this was a model. It's like, really? And then you get the ones that's and this was real. And you're like, I could have sworn that was a model, but no, you're now telling me that that's the real thing and that one wasn't. Brilliant. It melds perfectly together. And it's one of those films that, because of the troubles that came from the production on set, because of the going over budget, and because they had to chop it, it got a negative reception when it came out. The only disappointment that I have over this whole film is that in the UK, we get the edited version where we don't get to see the rat breathing the fluid.
Oh, right. Okay. I didn't know that.
Because that is an actual scientific thing that actually works. And they filmed it for real. A rat getting submerged in this breathable liquid until it gulps in and then can manage to survive in it. Part of the idea of making this film came from James Cameron discovering that this was a real thing.